Are you frustrated with every single build having to use broken mechanics or bugs to do damage? Are you tired of constantly having to switch your builds around to do different types of content? Well, this Spirit Wave build is the best all-in-one build for every single type of content in the entire game, and it doesn't use any broken mechanics or exploits to do insane amounts of damage while also having incredible mobility and enough defensive power to be practically immortal. For those who haven't heard of Spirit Wave before, it has been one of the best performing builds of the season, with Randy recently completing a Pit 113 with it. But compared to all the other versions of Spirit Wave out there, this new insane build is not only easier to play, only requiring you to press 3 buttons, but it also turns Spirit Wave into a hyper-mobile, speed-farming machine that destroys literally every single type of content, from bosses, to hordes, to pit speed farming, to the easiest Pit 100 clears. This build just does it all. I'm Sir K from Goblin-Inc, and this is Spirit Wave. So let's start off this guide by showing you just how easy this build is to play. All you have to do is hold down your Blood Lance, press Blood Wave whenever it's up, and if you want to move, you just press your dash button in that general direction. That's it. The build really is that easy to play, and there's no harsh spamming to walk like you would have to do in other versions of Spirit Wave. This dash build will make it so that you never have to walk regularly ever again. So first, we have to talk about the star of the show, which is Blood Artisan's Cuirass. Now, Blood Artisan states that every time that we pick up 3 Blood Orbs, we get a free Bone Spirit that scales off of our life instead of our essence. Now, the wording about our life is a bit off, because it says that it scales with our current life percent, but for the past 3 seasons, it's actually scaled with our maximum life. And in Season 5, the stat squish we had actually made this item a lot better, because it brought down our base life, which makes it a lot easier to get more maximum life relative to our base life, which is how every single maximum life effect in this game works. So because of this, we really want to stack maximum life as much as possible to scale this effect. And the most important stat that you want on a Blood Artisan is this 3 Blood Orb passive roll. Everything else on it does not matter as long as it's a 3 Blood Orb passive. It's that big of a deal, so make sure you're getting the right one. So now that we know how Blood Artisan works, the next question is how we're going to get all these Blood Orbs. And that is where Blood Wave comes in, because Blood Wave states that every single time that a Blood Wave passes, it drops 6 Blood Orbs. And by using the title aspect, we're able to get a total of 18 Blood Orbs per cast of Blood Wave. And we combine this with the Gore Quills aspect, it lets our Blood Lances automatically pick up 3 Blood Orbs per cast, which is just enough to proc our Blood Artisans. And to get our Blood Wave cooldown back, we're going to be using a Fast Blood aspect on our necklace. So every single time that we cast Blood Lance to pick up 3 Blood Orbs, we reduce our ultimate's cooldown by 11 seconds. It's these 3 things together that make the build work and gives it its unique playstyle. And the other thing that's giving this version in particular such a unique playstyle is its insane mobility. And to achieve that, we're running aspects of Metamorphosis in our boots alongside the affix Attacks Reduce Evade cooldown. We'll use this and the Jaw rune word in our helmet, which is going to give us access to the Sorcerer's Teleport. This is so strong because we'll always be spamming our ultimate. This Zon rune word is going to generate us Infinite Offering, and this Infinite Offering is going to let us spam our teleport all across the map. And it's not just the teleport that we're spamming. Because of the Attacks Reduce Evade cooldown on our boots, every 2 attacks that we're going to be able to do, we're going to be able to do a Metamorphosis dash, which is going to cover a lot of ground and also keep us unstoppable. These 2 together gives us so much mobility that it actually fixes one of the core fundamental problems with Spirit Wave. The spirits are so slow and you can't control what they hit. But because Blood Artisan spirits come out from your character, it means we can take these Blood Artisan procs to the opponent and control what they hit by teleporting where we want them. This makes the build feel a lot smoother to play and also makes us incredible at speed farming. Now, something that might stick out is this Perdition I'm running. It's a very common mistake to see people running Shaco, because Perdition is just so much better. Not only is Perdition more damage even when you have to run Fast Blood on the necklace, but the stats it gives are incredible now that Bone Spirit is a core skill. And this critical strike here means that we actually get to run the Skeletal Defender sacrifice, and we'll still be capped on our crit rate, making this build so much easier to get online. And because we're running so many utility-based aspects, we really value whenever we get to pick up a damage multiplier. Which, speaking of other damage multipliers, we have Ring of Starlit Skies, Aspect of Serration, Tybalt's Will, and Aspect of Great Feast. These are the best generic, non-conditional damage modifiers, so they're perfect for this build. But one thing you'll notice is in all of these pieces, I have blood attack speed in every single one of my offensive temper slots, and in my utility slots, I have bone spirit explosion size. Make sure you're running the right tempers for this build, because the faster you attack with the lances, the more blood waves and blood artisan procs you're going to get. And the more bone spirit explosion size you get, the more damage you're going to deal in AoE. But by far the most important temper is these weapon tempers for bone spirit deals double damage. You want to hit these as many times as possible with as high rolls as possible. They are very, very important to get. Now, I saved the most important thing for last because I wanted to spend a little bit more time stressing it. You want GA maximum life in every single piece of gear that you can find it on. It is so important to your damage that you're hitting this maximum life on every single piece of gear and hitting these masterworks at least twice. You're going to be blown away by the amount of damage increase just hitting these gets you. And I would honestly recommend hitting GA maximum life in your amulet too. It is that important, and the increase in damage that you're going to get by getting maximum life and intelligence on these pieces is insane. So if you're struggling with your damage, make sure you're getting intelligence and make sure you're getting as much maximum life as possible. Now moving on to the skill tree, we have 2 points into Reap to move down the tree. We're taking a Blood Lance all the way up to the Paranormal Blood Lance, which is going to give us 15% more attack speed. We're taking 3 points into Unliving Energy because this is going to turn into multiplicative damage thanks to the Ossified Essence. And we're only taking 1 point into Hued Flesh because we really don't need the corpse generation, and this build is so good at generating corpses that you can actually overproduce corpses and lock yourself out of corpse tendrils. So only 1 here, it's all you really need. And then we're maxing out Imperfectly Balanced for the damage modifier. We're picking up Blight, Blood Mist, Necrotic Fortitude, Titan's Fall, and Spiked Armor, just all the good Necro stuff. We're picking up 3 points in Death's Embrace, 3 points into Amplified Damage, we're picking up Decrepify, and then we have 1 floating point into Death's Approach. This really can go anywhere, so if you're missing Critical Strike chance, you can put this in Inspiring Leader instead. Then we're picking up Corpse Tendrils all the way up to the Vulnerable. You're not taking the Blood Orb because we still value being able to vulnerable them, especially because Evulsion just got buffed in this latest patch alongside Compound Fracture. After this passes, we're taking maximum ranks into Bone Spirit because this is all of our damage, and we're going down all the way to the Critical Strike chance of Ghastly Bone Spirit. This is what's going to help cap your crit rate. Moving down, we take maximum points into Blood Wave, maximum points into Memento Mori, maximum points into Standalone, and maximum points into Finality. Because we're spamming our ultimate all of the time, Finality is just a 15% multiplier all of the time. And finally, we take Ossified Essence. Now, on the note of Ossified Essence, you can see here my current bonus is 0%. And that's because Great Feast is constantly reducing my essence. Now, the way you fix this is by having casting an ultimate restores essence on your amulet, as well as collecting blood orbs restores essence. Right now, my essence is empty, so I can't even cast Blood Lance even if I had blood orbs out. So I press my Blood Wave, and now I have essence to spend. And now I start casting these Blood Lances, and I'm full essence. And now all of a sudden, my Ossified Essence is giving me this multiplicative damage. Obviously, I'm a little bit slow pulling this up, so it's going to be, pretty much capped out the entire time in normal gameplay. So while it looks like it's 0%, in regular gameplay, it's going to be at maximum value, so make sure you're still valuing maximum essence at least a little bit. It's not nearly as important as normal Bone Spirit, but it's still going to be a damage modifier for you, so if you can pick it up, don't be shy to. So in closing, I want to show you guys exactly why this mobility is so strong and how to use it, and why it fixes one of the core problems that Spirit Wave has always had. So you can see I'm inside of a horde, and above me a mass just spawns. Now, normal Spirit Wave would have to just spam blood waves into the mass and just let their blood arsons slowly float along until it eventually kills the mass, right? But because we have all this mobility, we have much more agency. So you can see I start spamming my blood lances, and on my character I have 3 little blood arson procs on me. And then when I Sork TP and I dash into the mass, at my location where I land, I have a blood arson proc, right? And that blood arson proc is going to immediately kill the mass. And then even before the mass is killed, I'm already dashing in a different direction. And you can see where I land from the Metamorphosis dash, there's another blood arson proc over there. So you can see, using this mobility, I was able to carry over these blood arson procs to specific locations to make sure my damage lands at a specific point. Being able to do this makes this build much more proactive and much better at speed farming. But it also comes with the benefit of being able to snipe out champions when you're doing big pit pushes, because one of the issues that this build has when you're pit pushing is it really struggles to deal with champions because you kind of have to stay on them. And that's kind of an issue when you don't have a lot of mobility. But when you have multiple teleports, you can stay on those champions and kill them out. So not only does this make it better for hordes, it makes it better for speed farming, it makes it better for pit pushing, it's just the overall best version of this build. There are versions of this build that are better at specifically pit pushing, but this isn't a one-trick build. It does everything, and it does everything so comfortably. So that's why I think this is by far the best version of Spirit Wave out there. And that brings us to the end of my Spirit Wave guide. This has by far been the most enjoyable build I have ever played playing Diablo, and I hope you guys enjoy it just as much as I have. This has been Kay from Goblin-Inc., and I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you very much for watching.